They say loyalty is a virtue, but what if I told you it's also a weapon, a silent chain disguised as honor, binding you to the agendas of others? If you don't see through it, you'll sacrifice your power, your purpose, even your identity, all for someone else's gain. So, how do you protect your freedom without becoming a villain? Machiavelli gives us the answer in part 2 of this hidden truth. Loyalty is often a chain disguised as honor. When rulers and institutions demand loyalty, they are not asking for virtue, they are demanding obedience under noble pretense. Loyalty is framed as a moral duty, but often serves as a leash, and those in power evoke honor to keep others compliant. A free mind must learn to distinguish between loyalty freely given and loyalty demanded as a tool of control. In everyday life, we're often told that loyalty is a virtue, something we should give unquestioningly to our employers, relationships, or institutions. But here's the truth most never see. What's praised as loyalty is often used to tame your fire. It's the invisible chain dressed in the robes of duty. Think about it. How many times have you stayed in a job, relationship, or commitment out of loyalty, even when it drained you? You silenced your voice, ignored your instincts, and labeled it being loyal. But was it really virtue or fear of disappointing others? Machiavellian wisdom teaches us that the world rewards those who question the narrative. Real power begins the moment you ask, who benefits from my loyalty? If it's only the other party and you're left shrinking, then it's not loyalty, it's submission. True strength is learning when to walk away with dignity. It's understanding that self-respect is not disloyalty, it's clarity. You are not here to be tamed by others' expectations. You are here to choose your path with intention. So in your daily life, don't confuse loyalty with sacrifice of self. Be loyal to your principles, your growth, and your peace. Anything else is control wrapped in a compliment. Be loyal to your future, not your fear. True power lies in controlling perception. Men are more easily ruled by appearances than by truth. Most people follow what looks right, not what is right. The illusion of loyalty in politics, business, and even love is often more effective than actual commitment. To protect yourself, you must see through appearances, even as others are blinded by them. We often assume loyalty must be earned, but many systems flip the script, demanding it upfront like a tax. In truth, those who command your loyalty first are often the ones who give the least in return. They expect devotion without investment, obedience without respect. That's not a relationship, that's leverage. In daily life, you see it when people assume your time, your help, or your silence is automatic. They call it being a team player or sticking by family, but underneath is a tactic, a way to bind you before they've proven they deserve your trust. Machiavelli would tell you power often asks for loyalty not because it has earned it, but because it seeks to prevent rebellion. If you're loyal too soon, you forfeit your bargaining power. But if you wait, if you observe, if you assess character, then your loyalty becomes a reward, not a default. This isn't cynicism, it's wisdom, it's giving your loyalty the value it deserves. So apply this in your everyday life. Before giving your trust, ask yourself, has it been earned or simply demanded? Stay kind but cautious, generous but guarded. Let your loyalty be rare and your standards high. That's not cold, that's powerful. Trust is earned through structure, not sentiment. Do not trust in words, trust in systems. Those who rely on promises will be disappointed. Machiavellian wisdom dictates that you must build relationships where betrayal is too costly. Contracts, leverage, and aligned self-interest are stronger than any oath. In everyday life, people often cling to relationships, jobs, or commitments out of loyalty, even when those bonds no longer serve their growth. We're taught that walking away is betrayal, but staying in situations that diminish you is the deeper betrayal of yourself. Machiavelli's wisdom reminds us when interests no longer align, loyalty becomes a trap, not because you failed, but because the foundation that once held things together has shifted. People evolve, circumstances change, and what once brought value may now bring stagnation or pain. So here's the empowering truth. It's not disloyal to outgrow what no longer fits your past. It's not a moral failure to choose your evolution over outdated obligation. You can be grateful for the past without being shackled to it. Apply this to your life. If you're staying somewhere just because you feel you owe it, pause. Ask, is this loyalty lifting me or limiting me? Am I honoring the bond or hiding from growth? True loyalty isn't slavery. It breathes, adapts, and evolves. But when it becomes a weight that holds you down instead of wings that lift you up, it's time to release it. Maturity is knowing when to stay and when to let go, and having the courage to do both with grace. Conditional loyalty is a sign of intelligence, not cowardice. A wise man knows when to bend, when to break, and when to walk away. Stubborn loyalty can be a mask for fear or laziness. The truly strategic individual assesses loyalty continuously, ready to shift when interests no longer align. This is not betrayal, it is adaptation. In life, clarity is power. When you understand why someone appears loyal, whether it's love, business, or friendship, you begin to see beyond words and into reality. Machiavelli teaches us that much of what we call loyalty is actually strategy in disguise, a reflection of aligned interests rather than unwavering devotion. This is not cynicism, it's wisdom. And once you see it, you stop taking things so personally. You stop expecting permanence in a world built on shifting needs and motivations. This frees you from disappointment. And more importantly, it empowers you to build stronger, more conscious relationships. Apply this in daily life by paying attention what motivates the loyalty of those around you. Is it shared values, mutual benefit, or dependency? And what motivates your loyalty? When you understand the root, not just the surface, you gain insight. That insight lets you anticipate changes, prevent betrayals, and forge partnerships based on reality, not fantasy. This isn't about mistrust, it's about discernment. When you lead your life with clear eyes and grounded expectations, you suffer less, grow more, and build wisely. As Machiavelli might say, the wise do not demand loyalty, they understand it. Know the game, see the players, and choose your alliances with vision, not illusion. Blind allegiance is the enemy of self-mastery. He who was served without question never learns to lead. A man who gives loyalty without reflection hands away his power. Machiavelli teaches loyalty should serve your ambitions, not sabotage them. Learn to say no, learn to walk alone, learn when loyalty no longer serves your path. Your freedom begins where blind loyalty ends. When you start thinking for yourself, you reclaim your power. Too often, we're conditioned to obey, to follow, to submit to authority, even when it doesn't serve us. We're taught that questioning is rebellion, that detachment is betrayal. But here's the truth. The ability to walk away is the truest form of control, not over others, but over yourself. Machiavelli reminds us that independence of thought is the foundation of strength. Loyalty, when expected without reflection, becomes a leash. But when you think critically, you cut that leash and chart your own course, not one dictated by manipulation or fear, but by purpose and clarity. In daily life, this means learning to pause before you say yes. It means asking, does this align with my values, my goals, my truth? If it doesn't, have the courage to say no. Detaching doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about your freedom more. Stand firm in your vision. Don't be afraid to outgrow allegiances that no longer serve your evolution. Because the person who refuses to be controlled is the person others cannot ignore. Think clearly, choose freely, and remember, loyalty is earned, never owed. Control the narrative or be controlled by it. If you do not write your role, others will cast you in theirs. Loyalty is often enforced through stories of patriotism, duty, love, tradition. But stories are weapons. Whoever tells them holds the leash. Take control of the narrative or forever play someone else's part. You are not just a follower of others' expectations. You are the architect of your own path. When loyalty demands silence in the face of injustice or forces you to comply with standards that don't align with your core, it becomes a betrayal of the self. Life will present you with countless moments where the easier road is to conform, to nod along, to go with the flow, to avoid conflict. But growth doesn't live in comfort. It thrives in the fire of self-honesty. Machiavelli teaches us that the strongest individuals are not those who obey without question, but those who understand when to shift course. Loyalty to yourself means having the courage to choose discomfort over dishonesty, solitude over shallow validation, and truth over tradition. In your everyday life, this might look like standing up for your beliefs in a meeting, distancing yourself from toxic relationships, or simply choosing to pursue a dream no one else believes in. These acts may seem small, but they are seeds of self-respect, and over time, they blossom into an unshakable inner power. You were not born to be someone's pawn. You were born to be your own king. Guard your mind, protect your heart, and always remain loyal to your higher vision. That's where true fulfillment begins. Freedom requires the courage to be misunderstood. You will be called disloyal when you act for yourself. Accept it. When you walk away from manipulation, the world will condemn you, but this condemnation is the price of clarity. Machiavelli's path demands inner strength, not outer approval. When you release the illusion that others owe you their loyalty, you step into one of life's greatest freedoms, self-reliance. Expecting others to be loyal to your cause, your values, or your vision can lead to deep disappointment. People shift, priorities change, and alliances dissolve. That's the nature of a world in motion. But instead of viewing this as betrayal, view it as liberation, because when you stop depending on external loyalty, you start depending on your own conviction. In daily life, this means building systems you can trust, developing skills that make you valuable, and nurturing a mindset that can stand alone. It means treating loyalty not as a chain, but as a choice, one that must be earned and re-earned, not assumed. Philosophically, Machiavelli urges us to stop chasing loyalty like it's a crown, and instead become the kind of person others want to follow, not have to follow. And if they leave, let them. The right people remain, not out of obligation, but out of alignment. Your power multiplies the moment you no longer fear walking alone, because the man who can walk alone, who needs no validation to stand tall, is the one who commands true respect. Become that man, and you never have to beg for loyalty again. So, what's the real lesson here? Loyalty, when blind, becomes a cage, but when examined with wisdom, it becomes a choice, not a command. That's how you protect your freedom without losing your integrity. Now is your turn. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think loyalty is earned or expected? I want to hear how you see it. The next video will take it deeper. It's not about loyalty or betrayal. It's about the hidden patterns that shape your fate without you ever realizing. Click it now. Your awakening is just getting started.